Saturday 27th of September 2025, Moon Point, northwestern edge of Fraser, Kagari. Plan is to drop Steve off today and head south solar. Wish me luck. Just heading out off Moon Point, South Passage anchored here for the night. So where it's heading, we head across to Hervey Bay to drop Steve off. Coming into Hervey Bay now. Okay, so we've refueled and we're heading out solo from Urangan to Brisbane. Another load of whale watchers heading out. Police boat. There's a Riviera chasing a whale over there. I think he might have gone over to stay 200 metres away. As we head down the Sandy Straits, past Big Woody and Kingfisher to Elbow Point. Finally got rid of the motors. Sailing down the Sandy Straits was just a head sail out, doing 6.5 with the tide, which is wonderful. Back towards Moon Point. Chugga chugga behind me. All is well. So Big Woody behind us there, heading down the Sandy Straits. The wind has died, so I've had to tuck the headsail away. We've got Hervey Bay, look around, there's riverheads just vanishing behind Duck Island. And if we look up into there, there's Kingfisher Resort over there. Quite a few boats making their way through the Sandy Straits. I'm assuming they're all going to be looking at doing the White Bay Bar tomorrow together. So at least I'll have some company, I guess. We've had quite a few whales in here too. They're coming right up into the Sandy Straits, all the way up into Kingfisher. I guess they're fairly comfortable in this area. The vehicle barge from Riverheads taking them to Kingfisher. People wanting to get off at Kagari and explore. Heading up to the shallows. The Southern White Cliffs up ahead. Good anchorage spot for many. Head up around there where that monohull is in the distance. So we can see it between the sails coming over. Lots of sandbars you can see. Coming in just before high tide, so hopefully that will work well. Heading up through the Sandy Straits, there's the Rangers premises up in there, one of many on Kagari, an old jetty. Not sure if they use that anymore. Heading down there, up in the corner, you can just make out there's a historic wreck up in there. And we head around past White Cliffs. Sheridan's Flats, right up in there, which is where we're going after we go around that green ahead. We're going out the very shallow part of the Sandy Straits now, right in the middle, right on high tide or just before. You can see a monohull taking it very easy up there. It's down to about 2.5–3 metres even at high, so they take it very slow. Hopefully be okay. There's a closer view of the houses of Stewart Island and the other entrance to the Gary's anchorage around the corner, which is an all-weather anchorage, and an all-mosquito anchorage. Coming out of the Sandy Strait Narrows component. We look across there, I think that's Poona and a few other places over there. Out into Wide Bay Harbour and then the entrance to Tin Can Bay, and of course Inskip Point and the Wide Bay Bar. We had a pretty uneventful crossing, apart from hitting something solid. It may have been a log or something in the water. Doesn't seem to have done anything untowards. I guess we'll confirm that when we're anchored. A couple of hours to go and we'll be on anchor. Looking at heading through the Wide Bay Bar tomorrow morning. Kagari, fellow's been following me all the way. Nice looking monohull. Back towards Gary's Anchorage entrance, southern entrance, up at that end. It's coming out of the Sandy Straits into Wide Bay Harbour. You can see Rainbow Beach up the back there, way up in the distance. It's the bottom of Fraser finally. Big Island. Looking for somewhere to anchor tonight, maybe over there where those boats are. Coming up to the Elbow Point anchorage, have a look at that first, and if that works, great. Otherwise I'll go into the little anchorage behind Inskip Point, which you can see way off in the distance, just below Rainbow Beach there in the background. See how we go. Sunday, the somethings of September 2025, 29th I think, 28th. Anyway, we're heading out through the bar early, going against the grain with the tide, but it's very benign, so I'm not going to get it much better. I'll show you the other way around. That's where we're heading. So yeah, wish us luck. Bottom of Kagari there. Car's already waiting to be picked up from the ferry that goes from Inskip over there. So, creek up into Tin Can Bay. And obviously over the back you can see Rainbow Beach Cliffs, or sand dunes I should say. Wish us luck. Heading over the Wide Bay Bar this morning. A bit of rain out there, that's not good. Skip Point and the southern bit of Fraser. You can see all the campers on Kagari waiting to get across. Here comes the barge to pick them up. Heading over the Wide Bay Bar, fairly benign so far, a bit wishy-washy but no worries. Staying, keeping that to port, well and truly. Big sandbar there. We've got a big skint boat coming up behind, that'll make some waves. Well done. And we've got the new leads on Inskip Point flashing behind us. You can see there. Just got to go to start a little bit more. Flat here, I've got a big sandbar up ahead there that I have to keep to starboard. A bit of rain off in the distance, that stays away. We'll see how we go. American. Nice boat, that one. Well set up. Coming up to Double Island Point, we have Catamaran Ellipsis. There's a sort of a buddy boat, and Liberty up ahead with Emerson Lake and Palmer in the background. No wind yet, at least none in our direction, but it's supposed to come in shortly. Just heading south, Double Island Point, waiting for the wind, is due in about an hour. And we have an enormous amount of cars waiting at Double Island Point. Glad it's not. Noosa Heads and Sunshine Sunrise Beaches, heading down towards Coolum, Point Arkwright. Further down, just got the headsail up because the wind is right up the proverbial, and that's why the motors are still going, because I have to push on to Scarborough. And it's going to be a 17-hour trip solo. Big day. Mount Coolum, Maroochydore, a very hazy day over there, a bit of smoke. And we come around to Mooloolaba, and then away off in the distance we have Caloundra. Yes, I have the motors because the wind right up the clacker. I can only run the headsail. I needed another 3 or 4 knots, as I always do. Heading south, just past Mooloolaba over there. Getting through the traffic around Mooloolaba. There's a whale just in front of that sailing boat up ahead. See how we go avoiding those. Very loud. So after nearly 4 months away, safely back home now for the summer and into the boat work. Thanks everyone. We'll talk to you next time.